Hello, and thank you for coming along virtually to find out more about HSDC. My name is Mike Gaston, and I'm the Principal and CEO here at the College. I'm delighted to introduce this evening's presentation before handing you over to my colleagues. Tonight is all about the opportunities and support available for your son or daughter on their A-level programme, either at our Alton or Havant campuses. So why choose HSDC? Well, we provide an inspiring yet supportive bridge between school and higher education or employment, and we are constantly exceeding the national averages in qualification outcomes. We offer a large portfolio of A-level subjects, and this variety and choice enables successful progression to a wide range of careers. At HSDC, you will find motivated and aspirational students with a vast array of backgrounds and experiences, and one thing in common: they all want to study at one of the best A-level colleges in Hampshire. Our students achieve excellent results, go on to top universities, and have found great success in a variety of careers, including medicine, journalism, sport, and the arts. We pride ourselves in supporting every student's ambition and supporting every student to reach their goals and realise their dreams, whether that's to progress to HE, a higher apprenticeship, or into employment. We know that your son or daughter will have had a particular difficult and possibly anxious year at school with the pandemic, facing uncertainty around examinations and then tags, and this new world of awarding grades. So it's really important that you know that we are ready to support them when they start with us in September. We're looking forward to a sense of normality in September. However, like all colleges during the pandemic, we've been adapting to change, and our teaching methods have evolved to become more agile, enabling teaching to take place in the classroom and online. And we're confident that whatever September looks like, we can offer your son or daughter a first-class education. That's all from me this evening. Don't forget that we have a live Q&A at the end of this event, hosted by Richard Barlow, Deputy Principal. So do please send in your questions via the chat box throughout this presentation. I look forward to seeing you in person soon. Thank you for listening.
Good evening, and thank you for coming along virtually to find out more about HSDC. I'm Nicola Kingsley, Assistant Principal for our A-level provision at HSDC, both Havant and Alton campuses. The purpose of this evening is to give new parents and guardians some useful information about what to expect from the upcoming experience at the college, both for the students themselves and for you as parents and guardians. We will have live Q&A after this presentation, so please make a note of any questions you may have and put them into the chat box at the end, and we'll answer them. So both the Havant and Alton campuses of HSDC are A-level centres of excellence. We are an amazing college, and students come from such a variety of schools and geographical areas that both campuses really do feel like mini university sites. Studying with us is an excellent transition from school to university or to full-time employment and training. We're a top performing college and have been for nearly 40 years, albeit previously as Alton College and as Havant College. As a merged college, we are much stronger and are able to offer a greater variety and range of expertise and specialisms. A-levels is what we do all day, every day, rather than teaching from year 7 all the way through. We just specialise in teaching these A-level specifications to 16 to 19-year-olds, and therefore we really are expert at it, and we get fantastic results. Nearly 100% pass rates at A-level and high 80% plus A to Cs in a range of subjects, including the extended project qualification. And perhaps even more important, as well as those outcomes, those results, we also enable all students to make really good progress, whatever their starting point in terms of GCSE. And a testament of that are the first-class futures that our students go on to. We pride ourselves on giving our students not only good grades and learning, but also an insight into industry and a pathway to the professions, whichever it is that they wish to move on to. 36% of A-level students achieve first-class honours at university in the past couple of years, whereas that's against a 29% national average. And what this shows is that we develop really good study skills and a confidence within our students to enable them to progress. There's a line there saying that students recommend us, and I take that from the student voice, the surveys that we do regularly throughout the year. We seek our students' information and experience and understanding of how they've experienced their studying with us and act upon it. And what they tell us is that they enjoy our modern facilities and our innovative ways of teaching. So why choose HSDC? Well, it's a really welcoming place to study. The campuses, both Havant and Alton, have around about 1,500 students, big enough to spread your wings and to meet new friends and to offer a really broad range of subjects to choose from, but small enough to get to know everybody and to feel familiar and comfortable within it. We work hard to develop a respectful but also inspiring and exciting environment that comes from developing a culture of study, of respect, but also a space to grow. And our facilities are really good standards. For example, our labs are of university standard. And as you can see here, and the photograph here, we have really good photographic and video camera work. This particular photograph is taken from the Alton campus, where students are preparing for some media studies A-level coursework. You'll be familiar with our timetable. We start at 10 a.m, which is the optimum time for the teenage brain to learn. Actually, the very best time is at 36 minutes past 11 in the morning, but we couldn't wait until then to start because we wouldn't have enough time in the day to fit the lessons in. But 10 o'clock is a good time to start, and we have fewer, longer lessons. Lessons are 90 minutes long, all of them, which is the optimum time of learning. It's quite a lot longer, double often the length of lessons in school. So it means that in college, you can really get stuck into your learning, and as teachers, we can provide a whole variety of different activities within that lesson to cover a whole topic. We've also got a fresh approach to tutoring, but I will leave that to my colleague Darren to talk to you a little bit more about. In preparation for starting at college, we have put live today our Getting Ahead work. This is live on the website, and activities have been set by teachers, by the curriculum, to help students to prepare for their chosen courses before they start with us in September. And there are videos and also live activities available to help students to whet their appetite and to help them to get ahead, ready for September. Also to keep them busy over the summer. GCSE results day this year is August the 12th, which is earlier than usual. Once your son or daughter have got their results, then they'll be invited to enrolment. Enrolment's not an interview. They already have their place. We have offered that. We've interviewed already, and we've offered a place here. Enrolment is about agreeing the subject choices, because sometimes students discover that actually they're amazingly good at a subject which they hadn't realised, or else they've just changed their mind about where they want to progress to, what kind of a career or profession they want to move on to. All of those conversations happen at enrolment, and there's absolutely no problem about changing your subject choices, although we do have some courses that fill up, in which case we'd have to operate a waiting list. But for the most part, we have sufficient numbers of classes to be able to facilitate a change of subject choice. Enrolment's also an opportunity to sign up for enrichments, which can be really wide-ranging, from sports and music enrichments all the way through to creative writing or the student union. The first experience that students have of college is Induction Day at the beginning of September. And that's the first opportunities to come onto campus, especially after the pandemic and difficulties that have been created by COVID. But at the beginning of September, they will have a day where they meet their teachers and begin the process of induction, which is about the systems and the processes of college, as well as some taster activities to get stuck in. But induction is actually a half-term process, and especially for this group of students in this particular situation with the pandemic, we are aware that there has been a lot of lost learning, not just subject content, but also in terms of study skills and approaches to learning. If there hasn't been the same experience of external examination and students are signing up for and about to study A-levels, then we need to take induction seriously and develop their study skills for at least half a term, but probably actually for longer than that. This first half a term is also a period of time in which students can ask to change courses. And we would much rather that students do ask to change courses, do transfer, rather than stick with something that turns out that there is not suited to them, or it was not quite what they thought it was going to be. And we will have that situation, of course, because the range, we offer 38 different A-level subjects. That's far more than the subjects that students have had at school. So they might sign up for something new, such as economics A-level, or the criminology diploma, or sociology, and it turns out that it's not quite what they had expected. So in those early weeks, there is opportunity to discuss that with the student's tutor and to transfer onto the right course. So transport links are really good. We are close to the train station. It's a 5-minute walk at Havant and a slightly longer, probably 8-10 minutes walk at Alton. Numerous buses and bus routes, and the buses actually come onto the campus. We are able to offer financial support for any students or families that find it difficult to cover travel costs. You just need to speak with, come into the student hub at the beginning of term, or actually discuss it at enrolment, and we will sort that out. And we work with the local transport companies to ensure that students can get to us at the right time and also get home after lessons as well. There's lots more information available on the website, and the link here, the address is there. We're hoping that transport will be operating as usual by September. This year, the bus companies have put on extra buses to ensure social distancing, and they are continuously very flexible in ensuring that students arrive at the right time to fit the timetable. So I talked a little bit about induction, and I said it's a half-term process, which it is. But throughout the whole 2 years of study with us, we make it a top priority to develop students' study skills, because that's the basis of success, whatever subject or destination that the students are wanting to go on to. So our tutor sessions are an hour long once a week, and the tutor is always the teacher. And through these tutor sessions, apart from the UCAS information, university applications information, and other development things which Darren, my colleague, will talk about, this is also a place to develop the study skills as a starting point. All the way around college, we have private study areas for students to work in outside of lessons, and we offer workshops in the LRC and up in the digital study space at Havant. We offer one-to-one student support, and we set up peer mentoring as well, because some students find it easier to work alongside like a study buddy, in addition to one-to-one support from teachers. And then we have a really strong additional learning support team, who are available all day, every day, either as a drop-in or for scheduled appointments, if that's helpful. For you as parents, we'll keep you informed throughout the course of study. The personal tutor is always the first point of contact because they are the nominated person teacher who's responsible for looking after their tutees, making sure that they're on track, monitoring their progress, and generally making sure that they're happy and that they're making as much progress as they can. Pro Portal is the name of the system that we use to record all of the student information, monitoring grades, comments about how to improve their work, or information about which universities they'd like to go on to, or what professions they're wanting to look at, and so on. For you, Pro Portal is the place where you can see attendance, target grades. It's where the students record their reflections. So this is where it's a part of the process whereby we encourage students to take ownership of their own learning, and they reflect on how much progress they're making and what they can do to improve it. It's also where teachers will provide some review of subject progress. And then Pro Portal and the information on it feeds into consultation evenings, which happen twice a year, and you can be invited to interview if we think that a conversation with you would be particularly useful, but also you can sign up yourself. Now, during if you wish to come in and talk to the subject teachers, during the pandemic, we were forced into doing these remotely, but we've actually found it really, really useful. The discussions between parents and teachers were really productive. And for you, it's so much better than sitting around waiting in queues for the next person, and then somebody overruns and it takes up the whole evening. So we will continue with that because feedback from the parents last year was really positive, as well as for teachers who just felt that they could communicate a lot more in that fashion. And this digital learning has crossed over into teaching as well as parents' evenings. We were forced, obviously, the whole country was forced into virtual learning with the lockdowns, but we did really well with it at HSDC. And we have worked with the Google Suite already, Google Classroom and Google Meet and so on. And what it's done is it's actually informed our teaching methods to make them even more productive. So going forwards, we will be offering a blended learning experience. This is not instead of teaching, face-to-face teaching at all. Face-to-face teaching, classroom teaching carries on exactly undiminished. It's not going to reduce that at all. But we can now provide more directed and more informative materials for independent study based on the blended learning experience. So blended learning just meaning a combination of speaking and digital materials. Lots of our teachers are choosing to record their lessons and then pop them up on the Google Classroom, and students can rewatch them if there was something that they want to go back over. It's also, of course, brilliant for revision when it comes around to exam preparation and so on. So what we learned through the lockdowns has informed not only the resources and materials that we provide our students, but we've actually brought some of those techniques into the classroom so that students sat in a classroom in a normal face-to-face learning situation can actually make use of this technology to put up notes like a digital post-it notes and to collaborate and hold debates and discussions with notes recorded digitally. So we'll carry on doing all of that we go forward. Right, so I'm now going to hand over to Darren Della Maestra, who's Head of Student Services, and he's going to talk to you about HSDC Experience.
Hello, I'm Darren Della Maestra. I'm the Head of Student Support. I'm going to spend the next section of this talk taking you through a few slides in relation to what we call our HSDC Experience. I'm going to talk about the role of the personal tutor and the support we offer, including some of the bespoke support that we can provide your young person. So we want students to be successful in the classroom, but we also want to be clear that it doesn't stop just there. We have a really strong stream within our HSDC Alternate Experience that's centred on using the students' time at college really wisely, so they utilise their free periods to provide themselves with extension to their academia. So this would include, for example, involvement in national competitions and awards such as the Maths or Biology Olympiads, taking part in the college's enterprise group, which develops skills of business and entrepreneurship. It might also be taking part in additional qualifications such as the extended project qualification, where students have the opportunity to really delve deeply into a subject that they're really interested in, and it's more than likely going to be something that they would like to study further when they move on to higher education, for example. We also have the nationally recognised Sports Leadership Award, and we also offer the very popular Gold D&V Award. The college also delivers an Aspire programme. This programme is aimed at the highest achievers in their chosen subject, and the Aspire programme seeks to support students applying to the most competitive destinations, whether this be Oxbridge, a music conservatoire, or any other forms of academy. Support ranges from extension work and set-in lessons, specialist classes on applying to competitive courses, one-to-one support, and really the students receive excellent opportunities to reach the highest grades possible and help them through this process. So I've already talked about some of the enrichment, but I'm going to talk to you about some more aspects, and we often call this the student's cultural capital. We have enrichments, for example, many team sports, music, creative writing, debating, and we also have our bar mock trial for our aspiring barristers. Trips and visits include those to China and South America, and the college really do advocate the benefit of these. And also we have a really good work experience offer for all students, whether that be built into their course or on a standalone work experience week in the summer term. Now going to move on to the next slide, which is entitled The Personal Tutor. This is a really, really important person at college, and the link that the tutor has with yourselves as parents, but also your student or your son or daughter, our student, is so important. And you know, when we arrive in September, it's so important that we really try to get to know students really quickly, identifying their needs, and looking at the best ways to support them. A tutor is the first point of contact, and we're really fortunate that all of the teachers that teach are also tutors. So there is a really good chance, there's absolutely 100% chance that your son or daughter will be tutored by somebody who teaches them in a subject area. So tutors meet with students for a set time every week, and within that time frame they deliver some of the tutorial materials that we look to develop personal development and also behaviours and attitudes. It's also an opportunity for students to debate topics, to be critical about topics, and really develop their own ideas and thoughts about whatever it might be. The tutor also supports students with their progression, as it says, so monitoring their attendance, monitoring their progress within their subject areas, and also obviously guiding them through in terms of their progression ideas, careers ideas, as they progress into year 2. The UCAS process also obviously ties in nicely with that, and we begin the process for that in sort of June of the first year with the students. So making links with tutors, being that first point of contact is extremely important, and we really do value the importance of this relationship. Okay, next slide I'm going to take you through talks about support, and there's sort of 3 key aspects there. I've talked about already the pastoral support, and that really does involve the tutor. And you can see here that we've got also bespoke support, which I'm going to talk to you a little bit on the next slide, and academic support. We have really good, strong links with our feeder schools, and schools are really good at helping us really get an understanding of your students, of your young person, our students, and they often pass on really important and relevant information to help us not only support them from a pastoral perspective, but also help them in the classroom. So we have a range of staff that are available. Obviously, I've talked about the tutors, but we also obviously they have their teachers, their wider teachers, and there's also the support that's available through the health and wellbeing team. So as I said earlier, a bit about the tutorial sessions. We have like I said, a set session every week. We also obviously have the academic support, so it's really important that the students do contact their teachers and do speak to them, and that the teachers do share their knowledge with them. We have some really very qualified, highly qualified members of staff who will be more than happy to support students when they need it. So the final slide for me is just looking really at the bespoke support. So we're very fortunate that we have all staff are very caring and supportive to all of our young people. So in terms of the bespoke support available, you have myself listed there, but I'm also supported by my welfare manager, and we also have a really strong counselling team who are available. And I'll start with those particular people. So those people are always available, particularly the welfare manager and the student advisor. If students are having a bit of a wobble, lots of things happen for everybody in life. There's nothing that would surprise us in any way, and certainly if we can't help support the student, we will be able to signpost them to people that will be able to. So whether you're in care or a care leaver or a young carer, you might be having some sort of personal issues, please do seek out the health and wellbeing team for that type of support. We also have our learning support team who will support students with for example, things like essay writing. It could be structuring their assignments, coursework. It could be study skills that they need, organisational skills. So the learning support team will be more than happy to speak to any young person that approaches them, and staff will often refer students to this support as well. We also have our healthcare assistant who's equally our student advisor, so somebody on site who can deal with any emergencies. And really, the safeguarding team, as with any educational establishment, are always on hand to deal with any situations and to obviously get the right support in place when needed. And we're very used to working with lots of external agencies. So whether it's virtual schools or local authority, it could be charities who provide support for young people, for example, for sexual health. We're very much linked in and tied in with those people. So I'm hoping you're getting a flavour from this talk of that we are very supportive, very experienced in doing what we do to help guide your son or daughter through their experience with us. So That's it from me. I'm now going to say, well, thank you for listening, and hope to maybe meet some of you soon.